Hello everyone, today I'm going to be taking a look at more from Wargames Atlantic in their World of Flame World War II range as I unbox the British Expeditionary Force. Alright, so taking a look at the World of Blaze range from Wargames Atlantic. This time round it is the BEF, the British Expeditionary Force. So this contains 28mm multi-part plastic models. On the reverse, it gives you a bit of a history behind the BEF, and also if you choose to make them as home guard. And also, this was one of the sets that they developed through the Vox Populi voting system, where people can essentially vote with their wallet to help push projects further up the queue. So the more people interested in a project, the more likely it is to go into production sooner rather than later. So with that out of the way, you get some sprues. In fact, you get 5 of these sprues. Each one has 6 bodies on it. As you can see from that side, we have the reverse as well. Then we'll just come in and have a closer look and see exactly what you get on this sprue. Okay, so starting at the top, we have 6 helms, or heads with the standard British helm. We have 3 with covers, and then 3 of the soft caps, a couple of officers' caps or general service, and then 3 tam o' shanters for Scots. So not enough of the soft tops or tam o' shanters to do the whole box. Depending on what way you're using them or how you're playing them, it might be a nice way to identify certain units like raw recruits or veterans, that type of thing. Depends on the rule set, I suppose. We have some bedrolls, ammo for the Lewis, 1 in a pouch, 1 out, so it's the disc mag. There's some nice detail on the faces, especially on the soft covers. And I don't know if that's deliberate or not. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it on this. But there's one that looks very much like John Le Mesurier, Wilson from Dad's Army, and Clive Dunn. So I hope they've done it for that reason. Could be wrong though. Drifting on down, we have 4 entrenching tools. There is a mortar. 5 of your bodies are upright, 1 kneeling, 4 moving, 1 is lying down. And then we have our weaponry and additional kit. There are 2 types of rifle on this sprue. So you have the SMLE, which is the standard issue for the British Expeditionary Force. There's also some with bayonets attached. We have a couple of Bren and a Webley, a bar, and interestingly enough, well, the Vickers on the shoulder as well. There's also some Enfield P17 rifles. Now you'll see those, they are, if I pop this round here, this one just below the Thompson, where it has the barrel protrudes out over the body stock. This is one of the P17s. They were manufactured en masse at the start of World War I. So if you're building home guard, that's the type of weapon you probably want to give them, the older stock, while the main army, the professional army, got given the new SMLEs and sent off to Flanders. They were essentially using the older, overstocked model. But nice all the same. All of the arms are labelled. So you've got R5, R6, R7, so on and so forth, and then the corresponding L number. There are a few that are A's and B's. So for example, this rifle here is R5B. So R5B and R5A both use the same left arm, so you're just looking for L5 when it comes to building them. You don't need the L5A, it's just one. But there's some nice diversity on the arm front, including for this lying body here, which can be used for your Bren or your mortar. There's also a rifle that can be held in that as well. So if you just want a standard rifleman lying down, maybe you've got enough Bren and mortars, that's handy. The top end of the sprue, we have canteens, backpacks, more canteens, the bipod for the deployed Bren, a mug for tea, and then your gas mask pouches, satchels, whatever you want to call them. And then at the very end we have 2 sets of webbing pouches. So the bodies, if I flip this one over, see he has his pouches moulded onto him, as does the kneeling gentleman. He doesn't need them. This one and this one just have the webbing. So if you want to add the pouches, you can, just down the front. So that's what's on the sprue. Let's take a look at some of them put together. Okay, so the models are built, relatively simply done. See here we've got an ossifer pointing with the Webley out. There are a few left arms that are not attached, so marching order, throwing a grenade, pointing. Obviously you know he's an officer when he's pointing, screaming away. But nice level of detail on them, and obviously you can paint them up for the Expeditionary Force, and they can be modelled thusly, so you can have the full kit, gas mask, trenching tool, canteen, whole 9 yards, getting out there and going forward. I will say, because of the way the pouches sit, you may want to get the gas mask satchel on first, then work out where your pouches are going. For this one it's not too bad because he is just marching along, but for some of the models that are firing weapons, those pouches can be a little inconvenient. But you know, it is what it is. If we break this out, we can see size wise he is just shy of 28mm to eye level, but he is striding, he's not fully upright, so about right where I would expect him to be. We also have a Scott charging bayonet at the ready, battle dress but without kit. And again, this one I actually had both pouches on, and then I decided to go with this arm setup, and I ended up pulling the other pouch off to get it to line up correctly. So with these arms that are crossing the body, particularly on the ones where the pouches are going to be more prominent because you're adding them yourself, I would suggest going ahead and putting the arms on and then attaching those pouches to the webbing if you feel the urge afterwards. I did do a couple of home guard. So I've got my Thompson wielding pike. Again, nice looking figure, a lot of character in the face. You don't feel the the need to go with all of the various trappings for the home guard on the grounds that they're defending their area, so most of the time they probably wouldn't have been carrying a lot of that stuff. However, if they had been invaded, if Sea Lion is being played out, you may want to give them pack, entrenching tool and everything else as well, because they would have just performed as if they were a regular army unit at that point. And there's Sergeant Wilson with that long-barreled P17. Again, nice figures to put together. Really easy to build. It's just a case of picking your arms. If I had one criticism, the arms for the prone model, there's nothing to identify it specifically for the rifle. So where are we? So the Bren, that's for the prone model, fine. Likewise, the mortar is for the prone, and then we have a couple of arms here for your loader. One hand flat on the ground, one hand flat on the ground. So these are all for the mortar. We're essentially a two-man mortar team with these. But I originally just picked at random a rifle from the sprue that I wanted to use. And I believe it was L5 and R5. Don't hold me to that though. But it wasn't until I actually attached it to a model that I realized it wasn't going to be firing across the body. It was firing directly in front. And because of that, it would only really fit on the prone miniature. I was just attempting to, in fact, I'll bring this in. You can see it's got a very flat profile. So, in fact, I'll just do very quickly, see which one it is. It is R5 and L5, yes. So, if you attach that to a model, it will go straight forward. But because of the way these arms are chamfered, it will not fit on a body straight forward. The arms won't come together. You have to push it up or down, if you will, so it's coming over the shoulders. And by doing that, you can actually engage the two pieces together. So this is specifically made for that prone figure, so you can have a rifleman, which is handy to have. But it's not listed in any way, so I was literally just going, I want a rifle. There's a rifle that's firing. Let's pop that on. Oh, it doesn't fit. It doesn't look right, which is why I ended up with this one instead, with the more standard 90-degree turn to the elbow. But there you have it, the British Expeditionary Force / Home Guard from Wargames Atlantic. So there's the BEF, obviously into France and then fought back to Dunkirk. Bit of a different makeup in weaponry in there than you would expect to see in later British forces. So a nice contrasting box, but where I think this really shines is if you want to do the likes of Dad's Army. You want to do your Home Guard, maybe Operation Sea Lion, some of the alternative what-ifs. This box is absolutely spot on for that. Has the range of weapons that you need, has the slight variations in kit, and as always with Wargames Atlantic, ton of stuff on the sprue, so you can put together your force whatever way you need to. But let me know what you think below, if you're going to be going with the British Expeditionary Force or something else. Until next time, bye-bye.
Go ahead and check out our other content on screen now. And while you're at it, why not hit subscribe and remember to ding our dong. Go on, you know you want to click it. Go on.